Hey everybody, it's Heidi Hope and it's FAQ Friday. And I'm trying out all of these new tricks because it's the end of the year. And so, sorry. So the end of the year is when we get to go shopping for our business and buy some new toys. So one thing I got was a new little webcam, which I just figured out how to use, and my microphone, and so I'm trying to get it all hooked up. And you'll notice my wall behind me is turquoise because we are painting a bunch of walls this color in the studio. I'm sure it's a shocking color for all of you who know me to see. I'm painting pretty much every wall in my studio this color. So lots of exciting stuff going on. So we're finally done with our busy season, which just feels so good. And we have all accomplished a lot this year. So it feels really good to be done. Mariah is about to have her baby any second. She's due next week. So we're just waiting for her to go into labor. And Caroline is finishing up with everybody's card designs, and we're rushing to get everyone's holiday cards out. And my cards just came in today, which is super exciting. But I'm not going to show them to you this week because I've been holding tight and not showing the pictures so that everyone can get their cards first. So I'll show you those next week. We have so much to talk about this week. First of all, there is a big giveaway going on, the stocking giveaway for photographers over on mamikakumi.com. And I donated the Creative Business Plan for Photographers as one of their sponsors. So if you want to win a copy of that, along with some other amazing prizes, you can, after you're done watching this hangout, you can go on over there and enter for a chance to win. And I will post that link below the video here and on YouTube as well. Next, let's see. On our newsletter, we had sent out a guide about a month ago for my top 10 tips for holding successful mini sessions. A lot of you probably tried out some mini sessions for the holiday season. That's a really popular time of year to do them. And I always joke that mini sessions are such a good idea before you do them. It's going to be so much fun. And then when you're done, you're like, what did I just do to myself? So there was a few years that we actually stopped doing them within our business, but we found a really great way to do them and make the clients happy and make it profitable enough for us to make it worthwhile. So I give those top tips in a nice little handout that I made for you guys. If you didn't get it, if you weren't on our newsletter list yet, because we have had so many people sign up after that, I'm going to resend that out next week. So if you want a copy of that, you need to go over to our website, HeidiHope.com/learning. You'll see little sign-up boxes everywhere, and you just enter your email in, and then you'll start getting my newsletter for photographers. And in that, I just kind of tell whatever's on my mind I tend to write about, and send lots of little freebies and updates as well. Okay, what else? Next week, because I only have one Cake Smash session next week, which is amazing. We really limited my shooting in December so that I could focus on preparing all the teaching material for the big online workshop, which is the first week in January. And then we've got our in-person workshops after that. I can't wait to meet everybody. There is a wait list for the Photographer Rising online workshop. If you just go to photographerrising.com, you can access the wait list, get put on that. And chances are, once we have everything set up technically on the back end of the site, we will open the wait list for 24 hours only. So if you want to be on that wait list and have an extra chance to actually be in the class of 2015, we won't be offering it again for another year. So if you want to get in on that, go to photographerrising.com right now, and on the top right-hand corner, just click join the waitlist, enter your email address in, and I will email you as soon as the registration goes live for that. And that will be just for 24 hours only, and I will be capping it. So if people sign up in the first hour and we're totally maxed out, then I'll be capping it off. Okay, but next week, the reason I'm telling you all this is because next week I am setting aside some time to do some paintings, some new background paintings. I'm going to record them for you so you guys can see from beginning to end how they came out. And those paintings are going to go up for auction at the PPA charity event the night before imaging starts. Sean and I are going to Nashville. Hopefully some of you are going too, and we can see you there and hang out. And then, at the charity event, 2 of those huge life-size canvases, I mean, they're ginormous murals basically, and they will be signed by me. They will be the originals, and you can donate to, I think everything goes to Operation Smile, but it's PPA charities. So keep an eye out for that stuff. That'll be fun next week. All right, let's get to the questions. Gosh, this is what happens when we don't visit every week. I just have so much to talk to you guys about. We hardly have time for the questions. So let's dig into those. You guys had good questions this week too, some like fresh stuff, which was good. Okay. Katie Parker asks, hi Heidi, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you. Here is my Friday question. Starting in January 2015, Facebook is making big changes that will dramatically affect small businesses, including a possible monthly feed to stay in newsfeeds and other such things. We all know that Facebook has been making it harder and harder for small businesses to succeed in the social media world lately. For example, only 1% of your fans even see posts. So what is the Heidi Hope team's plan to stay alive in the social media world? And what do you suggest others do who are still trying to build up our fan base in the first place? This is such a great and timely question, and I'm getting it a lot lately. So I'm so happy that you asked it this week, Katie. I got a lot to say on this subject. First of all, so what Katie's talking about, if you don't know, or if you're not aware of the changes that have been taking place and are going to continue to take place on Facebook. Facebook used to have a high organic reach. Organic reach is just reach that happens through interaction, natural interaction. So if somebody likes your post, then people are going to see that in their newsfeed, and then they're going to maybe check it out and like it too. So by one person liking or interacting with your post, it starts to spread, and it can go viral in that way. And then it can reach potentially thousands or hundreds of thousands of other people outside of your fan base. You start to reach more people. That was organic reach. Now that has dwindled down, and I forgot what the old percentage was, but it was about 2% maybe a month or two ago. It's down to 1%, and it will be down to 0%. So 0 is not a good number for reach by January 2015. Here's why Facebook is doing it. And I don't really hate Facebook. I'm okay with Facebook still. Here's why. Have any of you actually paid to advertise before? Because when I first got into business, we did 2 print ads. Each one was $3,000, and I never had anyone call and say that they found me through that print ad. So that's a lot of money in advertising, and advertising firms and marketing professionals will tell you advertising costs money. When Facebook started, it was great because it was for small businesses. It was a great way to reach a ton of people for free. So if you didn't have a big advertising budget, you could reach them, without spending any money. That's awesome. And for all of us who had any opportunity to have that element of free advertising, that was like a big bonus. But Facebook has changed, and they're a business too. And so what they're doing is they also, and this is one reason I do like the change. Maybe a year or two ago, I feel like when I was on Facebook, I was like, if I see another, click this to enter for your chance to win, like this post, share this post. Like everything in my newsfeed was an ad. And even people who were my friends, they were advertising too. They're like, check out my fitness plan, check out this makeup line, or they're telling about their personal business, or they're sharing their business stuff on their personal wall. And so Facebook, that is just referrals are one of the biggest sources of business. So of course, as business owners, it is smart to promote your business on there. But it did become kind of overwhelming. And this is what's bad for business when that happens, is that people start to tone out all of it. Okay, when we see 200 ads on a page, we are not even looking at any of them. It's too hard to pay attention. And then you're sifting through all your stuff for like the stuff you really do want to see, the status updates from your friends, the things that are meaningful and relevant. So if we want people to continue to use Facebook as a platform and to be engaged with their newsfeed, then it can't be 5,000 ads running down it. I get that. And I appreciate it personally as a user of Facebook. So they have to clean it up. So they're allowing us to still reach people through paid advertising though. So take advantage of that and do paid advertising. It is so inexpensive, and it's going to go up. So take advantage right now in the baby phase. If you want to start growing your page, start taking out sponsored ads. If you have a post that does well, boost that post and continue to get more engagement on it. And advertising on Facebook has really good return rates. So take advantage of it for the low cost of advertising. It's not free anymore, but at least all of those competitors who used to be, competing for everybody's attention, they're all wiped out. Everybody's on the same playing field, and we can all pay to advertise the way that you have to on almost any other platform. So I'm all for it. Another tip, besides going with the ping feature on there, is to diversify. Facebook should not be and should never have been your only marketing tool. So when I teach marketing, what I love to talk about, this is so important, is how do you should be using everything. I know it sounds overwhelming, and especially if you're not already on social media, you're probably like, oh my God, like I got to remember to tweet it and put it on Facebook and then pin it on Pinterest and then post it on Instagram and then my newsletter, and then how do I grow that? And my website, I haven't even updated it, and my blog, I have like so many sessions to do. Well, yeah, I mean, this is why big companies hire marketing teams to handle their social media or have somebody in-house to handle it. Now, that's not to say you can't do it as a one-person show. You definitely can, but it is a lot of work. And so marketing is a big element of what I do at Heidi Hope Photography. And that's why I have a lot of people doing other things. We're really good at marketing because I focus a lot of my time on it because I have paid people to do other stuff. So within your business, no matter what level of income you're at within your business, there are ways to take what you're good at. If marketing is something you're good at, stick with it. If marketing is not something you're good at, you can hire somebody to help with stuff like that. And it can even be low pay. It could be interns. It could be college students. Think about how even the one generation removed from us, younger than us, they're even better at technology than we are. So harness their great ideas and their energy and their love of social media and technology and have them help you out. But you have to diversify. You have to use multiple marketing avenues. And then you can continue to link between all of them. So, nobody is an overnight success. If you look at my social media, for example, we have a huge social media base in all different platforms, but they have grown organically, slowly over time. It's just, my Facebook is still getting 50 new likes a week because it's just constant. You have to constantly post, you have to constantly engage your audience, you have to constantly give value, and baby steps over time, all of a sudden you do wake up and a year later, you've got that many more thousand followers or fans. I think about Instagram. I started Instagram, I was late to the scene, I thought, in Instagram, and little by little, it has gradually grown a few followers every day, as long as you keep posting. And you can focus your efforts, I would say, on the channels that are giving you more returns. You should have Google Analytics on your website so you can actually see where your traffic's coming from. For example, Facebook used to be the #1 source of traffic on my website. So I spent a ton of time on Facebook because it's helping my search engine ranking. But as things have changed, Pinterest is now the #1 source of, and I used to be like, Pinterest, I love for myself personally, but I didn't pay attention to it for my business because I was busy, and Pinterest sucks me in and distracts me big time. So if I focus all my attention over there, well, I tend to get lost and not do my work. So I ignored Pinterest for a while until I looked at my analytics and realized Pinterest is sending more traffic to my website than Facebook is anymore. So it's obviously a social media channel that I can't ignore. And so to really know your numbers and your statistics and kind of use those to inform your decisions about where you're going to place the most time and effort, energy, and money into your business to see profitable returns. Now, one thing I do have to say about all these different platforms too is that when you're posting on all of them, they're a different community. People use them for different reasons, and they all have their own specific voice. I talk a lot about this in an article that I published on HeidiHope.com/learning. I think it's like how to be a social media ninja, and I break out all my really cool ninja moves. So you should really go check that out. But I talk a lot about the different voices of each platform and my workflow for posting to all of those sites. I'm not, I don't do it. I'm not always the best at doing it, especially when things get busy, but that's generally my goal. It's my goal sheet. And you can print out the sheet right from that page so that you can have it for yourself, and you can see my ninja moves anytime you want to. Okay, so we talked about all that, the platforms where everybody's at. Think about your target customer and where they are. This is so important. Who are you marketing to? If you're marketing to high school seniors, you should be focusing the more of your attention rather on Instagram, because that's where the young crowd is hanging out. If your target market is moms, because you're doing baby and children's portraiture, you should still be on Facebook. That's exactly where you need to you put your efforts in. Pay for an ad on Facebook, and the moms are going to see it. And you can define your audience. So you can pick people who are just in your state, who are just fans of your page, or fans of your page and their friends, so that, you're not wasting money on someone in California who's never going to book you for a session when you are on the East Coast. You know what I mean? Okay, so and then Google Plus. So Google Plus, it did die. I predicted it was going to. I'm sorry. I tried to love Google Plus, but I thought the fact that none of us loved it was going to ultimately lead to its demise, because for a social media network, you need a community there. So this is what happened with Google Plus. And I love the live hangouts. So I hope that it doesn't dissolve altogether, because at least we can do this, but I would have to switch just over to YouTube, I guess. But here's what happened with Google Plus earlier this year. All of a sudden, everybody's freaking out. They're like, Facebook is going to die. Everybody needs to go to Google Plus. You got to get your whole audience over to Google Plus. So all the business owners went over to Google Plus thinking they're going to have a big audience there. And this happened with a lot of photographers. So for photography vendors, it worked out really great, because all their photographers were building communities there. But for photographers, it didn't work out very well at all, because our customer base was not over there. Your high school seniors were not using Google Plus. Your brides-to-be were not using Google Plus. Your moms with young children, they're not hanging out on Google Plus. And if they're not engaging on the platform, then they're never going to even see your ad, and they're never going to see your promotions, and they're never going to see your content that you're giving them. So it was really hard. And I think for that reason, people stopped using it. I mean, I'm not checking in as much as I could be. And most of the stuff is kind of automated that we're putting up there, except for these awesome Hangouts, which I do love. Thank you, Google, for these. So that's just something to think about. Think about your target audience. Who are you selling to? What platform are they using? Where are they hanging out? What do they want to see? And then focus your attention and your efforts there, all the while not neglecting any particular platform. And my final advice, gosh, I could just do this. I mean, we could talk for days about this, and I'm really excited for our workshops. And Katie, I know you're going to be one of them, because I'm going to talk so much more about all of this. It's really a study that keeps changing. But lastly, the only thing you really own is your website and your newsletter list. You do not own your fans on any other platform. You don't own Facebook likes. You don't own people who are following you on Google Plus. You don't own that database. So we can use those platforms to reach them now, but you need to make sure that you have your own base for your marketing, which is your website and your own newsletter list. Those things you own no matter what happens. If Facebook dies tomorrow, you can still email and reach the people that are your fans that want to hear from you, that want to do business with you. So it's hugely important to not forget about your home base. You can't focus too heavily on any social media. But I do think Facebook's here to stay, and I think Twitter is here to stay, and I think Instagram's here to stay. So it's okay to spend your time working within those platforms. Okay. Great question, Katie. Wow. Okay. We'll move on. Okay, Laura asks, do you have separate email lists for your business? For example, one for photographers, one for clients, one for potential clients, etc. If so, how do you know who belongs to which one? Yes, Laura, I do. Very good question. So we use MailChimp to handle all of our emails. And within MailChimp, you can set up separate lists, and each list can have its own sign-up form. So if you go to HeidiHope.com/learning, and you're signing up for the newsletter for photographers, that's my learning website email. When I post something on Facebook and I say, we're going to do mini sessions at our studio, sign up if you want to be able to do the mini session, those are clients. That's my studio newsletter list. So each one is just a different list. And then when I send an email, I can choose which lists I want to send it to. I have lists for all my workshop attendees. I have lists for Photographer Rising, and is its own group. Everybody who has the business plan, they're their own email group. So that way, if I had something special just to give everybody who bought my business plan, I can send it directly to them. So yeah, we do have, and you can segment your list within there too. So there's all sorts of different stuff that you can do. So just getting a good email service provider will allow you to do that and keep track of everything really easily. All right, great question. Okay, Jen asks, I have made many changes since starting my business, but in-person sales is such a jump for me. I have a sales background, so that doesn't concern me. But what does is I don't have a studio and I photograph families within a 50-mile radius. My question is, how did you start and what would you recommend? i.e., did you schedule the in-person viewing at the time of photographing the client or when? Okay. So in-person sales are amazing because it allows clients to really see the images in full resolution, and it allows you to help. It kind of finishes the process. You do all the work leading up to the session and all the edits and stuff. And then when you throw them online, it's like kind of dropping the end of the service. So it's a huge service that you can provide clients. It is proven to have higher sales rates because clients know what to do with all the images. They can see tangible product. Okay, lots of great benefits. How do you transition? I started with online sales for the first year and a half. No, probably at least 2 years. We did online sales, even when we had a studio space. Then we transitioned to in-person sales appointments. We still keep an online gallery for them. And we also have clients who travel to us from all over the world. So if someone's flying to us from Florida for a Cake Smash session, we're not going to make them fly back for an ordering appointment. We just do everything online for them. And all clients who come in for an ordering appointment have an optional 48-hour online ordering gallery so that they could finalize their order at home if they want to. We do not make anybody order in person. And our galleries are pretty big and it can be time consuming. And so they don't always make their decision. We do incentivize them ordering in person by offering bonus items for them, but they don't have to do it. And they have the online ordering gallery. And then when they're home making other decisions like choosing which image they want for their frame or for their cards or something like that, as they're going through the design process with our graphic designer, then they can access the gallery to refer to their image numbers and everything. And that is hosted for a limited time. The way that we schedule all of this is, yes, when they book their appointment, when they submit their session fee, we book 3 appointments: their pre-session consultation, their session, and their viewing appointment. All 3 of those dates go into the calendar. When we send them their welcome information, all 3 dates are on it. When we call to confirm, all 3 appointments before the date. So yes, all of that is scheduled ahead of time, and it just makes it so much easier because I think if you left scheduling the ordering appointment till after the session, people would just put it off. It just would get strung out indefinitely, and it puts a lot more work on your end organizationally to have to try to juggle all of that for sessions that are said and done. So the simpler, the better. Come up with a really simple system for it. And just start implementing it as part of your policies. I know a lot of photographers who successfully go to the client's house and do it at the client's house, and they have a wonderful experience doing that. You've probably already been to their house to do the photographs, so that's pretty easy and comfortable. Other people do it using, a big laptop at a coffee shop. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it, even without a studio space. But most people who do it, even if a lot of people start doing it after our workshop in some way or other, and they all love it. So, they usually sales go up. It's a great experience. And I think for the photographer, it feels really good. It's gratifying to see the whole process through to the end and really help the clients to the very end is really gratifying, and knowing that they're going to love the images, and even just seeing their reaction when they first see the images, it's a really gratifying element of the whole experience for both the photographer and the client. Okay, so these were amazing questions this week, and I didn't even get to half of them because they were big questions, and I know somebody else had that same question too about the in-person viewing appointments this week. So hopefully that helped. Next week is another big episode of FAQ Friday. If I didn't answer your question this week, please resubmit it next week under the call for questions. We'll have another great throwback image from one of our old holiday cards that's going to be getting posted next week for your viewing pleasure. So make sure to leave us your questions next week, and then we will be taking a little hiatus for the holidays, and then I'm so busy with teaching workshops in January. So it's going to be the end of January before we have another FAQ Friday. So get your questions in next week. I promise to make it an extra long episode. If you haven't already, you need to go over to HeidiHope.com/learning and sign up for the newsletter for photographers, because even when I'm not broadcasting live, I still send lots of juicy info through that. So that's HeidiHope.com/learning. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today for FAQ Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you're not going too crazy and you get some time to enjoy the beauty of the holiday season, time with your friends and family, all of the good stuff that we work so hard for all year. So happy weekend, everybody. Bye.